Hello and welcome aboard the cockpit of the A-18 Hornet. We're continuing to work on the flight school campaign that I've been developing for the aircraft, and today's mission is going to be the the review mission for the exam for the navigation portion of the curriculum. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right in. As always, we're doing the full mission. I will time compress things where appropriate to kind of condense everything down a little bit, but don't necessarily. I don't know that we're necessarily going to listen to all the narrations because we've already kind of done all of that. So let's just go ahead, hop in. I may skip forward through things as appropriate.
Good morning. This afternoon,
so yeah, he's going to tell us to start up and get ready.
Ride, but I thought it might be a good idea to do.
He's going to have us start up, get ready. We have a bunch of coordinates that we need to input. There's some radio nav that needs to get done. Then when we come back, we're going to simulate doing a Case 3 approach and then move into a Case 1 carrier landing for the actual finishing of the exam. So we don't need to listen to him talk about all that. I've already verified that all the text and everything works for that. So we're mostly just trying to make sure we can actually advance through the campaign. All right, but I do need to go back because I guess I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so we just need to put the information in. So I won't be providing details, just little reminders to help you out. Go ahead and get started up. Enter the waypoints provided for the mission briefing. Okay. So the difference between this review mission and the next mission is that you get a few helpful hints. You get some confirmations that you hit your waypoints, and some reminders about, hey, make sure you do the VOR, and a little bit of a quick truncated briefing on how to get to the TACAN. So to do all of this, we need to hop over to the HSI, go to the data page. We need to find our coordinates, which are in the mission card here. And we just got to go start putting waypoints in. So I'm just going to go ahead and do all 4 waypoints. That way we don't have to come back to this page. And then now we can advance to waypoint 1, UFC position. This is just a standard one here, so we're going to go to seconds. We don't need to be in precise mode, so we're going to go north 41 25 56, east 45 12 54. Enter. Elevation is going to be 877. You don't necessarily need that just for navigation, but you do need it for bombing and stuff like that. So we need to enter precise mode for this here. We're going to do north 41, 26, 22, and then I say point when I press the enter because that kind of helps you remember it. Point 12, east 43, 48, 37, point 54, and then the elevation, just to keep us in the habit, 67, 65, enter. Waypoint 3 is going to be in decimal mode. We are going to go position, waypoint 3 in decimal mode. We're going to go north 4102.882, east. I get some double clicks sometimes with my involuntary double clicks sometimes with my mouse. 4314.668. Elevation 6433 feet. Then we move up to this one. We do the grid. We're going to do 30 GG. We're going to go GG, so that's this way. Oh. Oops. Sometimes I forget to bring my throttle quadrant out. So we're trying to do GG, right? So GG, wait for the thing to go, and then we type in the digits that we have. It's going to be 16352100020. Enter. Elevation 33 feet, and that's it. Okay, so now we should be able to go back to the HSI page. I like to have my HSI on the left side though, so we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to bring it back down to 1. Do the sequence 1. I think we have to be moving before it will allow us to put auto. Yeah. And so, yeah. So ideally, I have tweaked this mission a little bit. I've tweaked the zones on this. I've widened them quite a bit from where I would like them to be, because a lot of times, especially if you're on autopilot and you have the auto sequencing happening, it'll turn you well in advance of the actual waypoint itself. So I had to give a little bit of leeway for that, but it's fine. We'll make it work. Okay, so ideally what's going to happen is we'll take off, we'll hit the first waypoint, and as we go, the instructor will let you know, hey, you hit waypoint 1, you hit waypoint 2, 3, 4, and then he'll remind you how to, he'll remind you about doing the VOR and all that stuff. So we'll do that in the air because I just wanted to hurry up and get in the air and start getting the progress for this done. Let's go ahead and get the autopilot coupled. Let's see here. We need to get the TACAN for... there's a VOR station, right? So the VOR, we're going to go to manual. VOR is going to be 113600. There's only one VOR station, so I just had to keep using the same one. It kind of sucks that that's the way that is, but that's fine. And then TACAN for our return is 22 X-ray. So TACAN 22 X-ray on. Turn the TACAN on, just so we have that information available. And we should be good. Pull back on the throttle. Just double check and verify that our gear and flaps are up, and we can start time compressing a little bit. We're going to 20,000 feet for this one. That's waypoint 1. Sweet. So for the first part of this whole thing, you can just pretty much autopilot the entire time. You don't need to really do anything. Barometric. Hold on. I can generally go up to about 15 times compression. It's 15 times time compression. That's hard to say. Before my graphics card really starts whining at, or like really starts stuttering. So I can't go too fast. But ideally, there's waypoint 2, and it's going to auto advance to waypoint 2. I figured I'd rather give you a little bit more leeway to make sure that as long as you got close enough, you're going to get it, because it's really frustrating to type it in, and then because the autopilot does something you weren't expecting, you get screwed over. So I'd rather just make it a little easier. The whole point of this flight school is not to make you an expert. It's to teach you the concepts so that you know how to do it, and you know where in the process you do these things, and then you can go practice them on your own in your own specific scenarios that you want to do. So. I'm not. The purpose of this is to familiarize you with the aircraft, not to like make you super competent in the aircraft. That requires time and practice. There's no getting around that.
Go ahead and tune to the VOR frequency provided, then proceed toward it until you pass over it.
Heading over to the VOR there, and we are going to heading select that. Slow down ever so slightly, because we are going to have to do some adjusting. So get our heading set over on the VOR there. And then as we pass over the VOR, he'll tell us to go land. So that's the way that's going to go. Okay. Do 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 do. Adjust our heading ever so slightly, because it always just kind of moves around. The lineup over here moves around a little bit as you move, and especially as you're turning. It's never quite as precise as you would like it to be. Oh, I forgot I pulled back on the throttle there. Okay, so I feel like we should have hit it by now.
And don't forget about the standard deviation. Remember when you begin your descent and the multiply by 3 rule. Once you're about 5 miles out, I'll instruct you to switch to the Case 1 landing. Be advised that to pass the check ride you need a good trap. You can go around on a bolter or missed approach, but a short landing is an automatic failure, as you will have
Alright, so now now we just gotta fly back. We'll set ourselves up for the case 3 recovery. So 135 minus 6 for the standard deviation. We need to do 129, I do believe. Oh. That... I don't think so. What's going on here? I'm trying to bring the F10 map up, and it's freezing on me. Yeah, Baziani is 22 X-ray, so... What's going on here? Oh, because I'm not set to the TACAN. Okay, TACAN on, TACAN. Now we can set 129. Alright, you can see right here it's 129. Because I'm stupid, that's why. Okay, let's... Well, actually... start pulling back on the throttle ever so slightly. Oh, the scale is way too far out, making it seem like I'm a lot closer than I am. We gotta speed break this a little bit. I was too busy trying to fast forward through this. We're not gonna be able to do the landing at 400 freaking knots. So let's slow ourselves down a little bit here. And then as we get close to the airfield, it'll have us switch over to the Case 1 recovery. So that'll work. Let's speed this process up a little bit.
Part. So go ahead and switch to Case 1. Level off at 800 feet and be sure to turn between 1 and 1.5 miles.
That's pretty close. Alright, we'll do the rest of this in real time because trying to do this in fast forward is pretty difficult. So, we have the distance marker there for Baziani. We'll wait till we get to 1.5 and then we'll do our braking turn to the left, do our carrier, do the whole carrier, Case 1 carrier recovery. I struggle with the consistency of this part. Zero. Landing gear starting to come down. There we go. Start trimming and getting the angle of attack indicator right there with the velocity vector. We're right at the altitude we need to be, so I'm going to add some throttle to it.
Looking good. You're within the downwind corridor, so focus on keeping the velocity vector on the horizon.
I didn't bother turning my
head
tracking on because for the most
part,
try
to stay around 600 feet AGL and maintain a heading of 310.
I'm going to give myself a little bit of extra room when we get on the other side of this, just because there's no way for us to really simulate the angled deck of the carrier and still follow the alignment of the runway. So you need a little bit of extra room when you're practicing this part because the ship travels in one direction and the runway that you're landing on actually is sliding to the right as you're doing that. So having a little bit of extra room is pretty nice. So yeah, I'm going to wait until I get...
Begin your turn toward the runway when you're ready.
I'm personally going to wait
Remember
until
to add power
minutes,
and wait at least 90 degrees before looking at the runway.
Just have a little bit of extra room. But I don't want to teach that as part of the course because then people are going to get confused when they go out and do it on the carrier. So, you know, that's it's not optimal, but there's really no way to teach this. There's really no way to teach this realistically, so I'm just doing the best I can. I'm also turning sharper than you normally would, doing on the carrier, so that I can hopefully make it all the way around to
start visually lining up with the runway and get the velocity vector and the bracket on the numbers.
Get lined up with the runway.
Remember that you have to keep that throttle moving to stay ahead of the aircraft.
Yeah, this is what always ends up happening. Because normally you'd be angled to the left, and this would actually be a pretty decent lineup. Try to salvage this and down a little bit and stop.
Good trap.
Speed brake.
Exit the runway and taxi to parking spot 1.
And then we just go park, shut down, and advance the mission. So
great job.
We are
head back to parking spot 1 and shut down the aircraft.
We are going to do the exam. It's basically the same mission. The coordinates for the waypoints and stuff are slightly different, and you don't get any reminders. So you have to remember how to do it. So that's the only difference between the practice exam and the actual exam is just that. You have to remember how to do it on your own. So let's get over here. We'll shut down the aircraft. We'll verify that it advances to the next mission, and then tomorrow will be the exam mission. That's what we'll do. Because I don't have quite enough time to get through the rest of this and then go through an entire other mission in any kind of reasonable length of time for what I consider to be a reasonable length for a video. So we'll just do this one like this. Okay, and then as we have been, we're just going to go ahead and do this manually, because until you won't get these little reminders in the from now on after this block of the course, because by then you should know the process. So let's see, left engine off, ease off, ease off,
flight controls. Flight controls.
And then right engine off.
All right. Hopefully you're ready.
All right. So ideally, as we have been, should be able to just exit in the mission, and now we're on the exam. Navigation check ride. All right, cool. So tomorrow we'll do the check ride, try to blast through that as quick as we can, and then after that, we move into block 2 of the training. So thanks for watching. Be sure to click the like button, subscribe to help us reach 10,000 subscribers. Join as a member for early access to videos, among other perks, or you can just leave YouTube's version of a tip with the thanks button. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.